Hi everyone, thank you for joining us this afternoon for our virtual sponsor booth. Today we have Marcus Ruark with us from Surterra, Texas. He's going to have a short presentation and then he'll be here to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, thank you for the introduction. And we're very happy and pleased to be here today and to be sponsoring the foundation and supporting this walk. And I also want to extend my gratitude to everyone who is doing the virtual walk and supporting this. We really appreciate that as well. I've got a video I'm going to start with. It's about 2 minutes long. And after that, I've got a brief PowerPoint presentation, and then we'll show another really short video, about 30 seconds long. And you can be thinking of questions that entire time. I'm super happy to answer questions after that. And if we don't have any questions, then I've got some questions from previous sessions that folks have asked, and we can go through those. And Ashley, if you can just be watching for me for the questions, and then you can fire them off at me when we get them. So let me start up the video now.
Absolutely.
All right, so thank you everyone who is joining us today. I really appreciate that. We are Surterra, Texas, and we are one of 3 companies licensed by the state of Texas to provide medical cannabis to patients across the state. I've got our contact information here, and I'll circle back with that at the end as well. A little bit about Surterra, Texas. We started cultivating in 2018, and we started making our first deliveries to patients back in 2019. Our medicines are cannabis-based medicines that are 100% cultivated in Texas, processed in Texas, packaged here, and of course delivered to patients across the state. We are extremely innovative at Surterra, Texas, and we were the first company in Texas to launch or to come out with cannabis-infused lozenges, and I've got some pictures of those in a bit. Then we were the first company in the state to come out with cannabis-infused lotions, and that was just last month. We also have still today, the only THC-dominant product in the market. One of the things that's incredibly important to us is, and we strive for this every day, is to have the #1 patient experience in Texas. And for those of you who are already patients or have family members who are patients of Surterra, Texas, I know that you know this. If you've gotten to interact with our mobile wellness coordinators, we get nothing but a lot of great feedback from the great work our mobile wellness team is doing. And then lastly, as I mentioned, we have a deep focus in research and development and innovation here at Surterra. One of the great things about Surterra, Texas, is that we have a parent company called Parallel. Parallel operates in multiple states, Florida, Massachusetts, Nevada, and of course here in Texas. And when we have a great company like that behind us, it gives us the chance to do a lot of innovation that some of our peers don't have the opportunity to do here in Texas. So we're constantly innovating across all of our markets. We're coming out with new medications, form factors, products, ratios of different cannabinoids. So it's a really great thing to have that opportunity. And the other thing I'll mention here under this point around innovation is Parallel was selected by the state of Pennsylvania to be one of just a handful of companies to get a research license in Pennsylvania. And our partner in Pennsylvania is University of Pittsburgh Medical Center, UPMC. And for those of you who know medical centers, UPMC is one of the top 5 academic and research healthcare organizations in the world. So we're really excited to be that medical cannabis research partner with an institution like UPMC. This is a picture of our current medicines and form factors that we have available. We offer tinctures, as you can see in the upper left. These are in different ratios of CBD to THC, and the ratios are designed not only for different, to give doctors and patients different treatment options, but also for ease of dosing. So we've got a 19-to-1, we've got a 4-to-1, and a 1-to-1 in these tinctures. These tinctures also contain targeted and designed terpene profiles. Terpenes are found naturally in the cannabis plant, and there's lots of research around different terpenes and how different terpenes interact with our endocannabinoid systems. In the center there, you see our lozenges that we have, and we've got 2 different ratios of lozenges. We have a 1-to-1, and then we have the THC dominant lozenge, which is one part CBD to 9 parts THC. Each of those lozenges for the relief line of lozenges contains 0.5 milligrams of CBD and 4.5 milligrams of THC. And then lastly, on this slide, you will see our lotions, our cannabis-infused lotions. We've got a 19-to-1 in the Tranquil lotion and a 1-to-1 in the Soothe lotion. So here's some more information about Surterra, Texas. We offer what I like to call the most compassionate pricing in the state. So if you are comparing the price points of the 3 different companies, we offer the most compassionate pricing. We are very understanding that this medicine is not covered by insurance yet. And because of that, this means it's cash out of your pocket to pay for it. So we've always wanted to provide, again, the most compassionate pricing for our patients across the state. We also have some nice promotions and discounts. If you're a first-time patient, it's a 15% off your order. When you return the second time, it's 20% off. And I will admit, I see lots of patients taking the opportunity for the second-time discount. We'll see a nice-sized first order, but then we often get massive second orders to take advantage of this 20% off. We also provide 15% military discount for military families. We have free delivery available, and as you see there, we have contactless delivery available upon request. A lot of our patients are immunocompromised, so we're really happy to be able to offer that. We accept a payment in a couple different ways. There's an app called CanPay that a mobile wellness coordinator will set you up with prior to your first delivery. That's a fully electronic version of payment, which is nice. We also offer ACH transactions that you can talk with your mobile wellness coordinator about. And finally, we accept cash. We have a Facebook page, of course, Surterra, Texas. I would be most appreciative if you would swing by there and like our page, and that will keep you updated on our different promotions and product launches and events that we're participating in. And lastly, here's how you can reach us. Surterra.com/Texas, our phone number, and our Facebook page. One last thing I'll add, and I should have had this in the presentation, but we also offer a telehealth link So if you're looking for a doctor to get a prescription, if you just go to surterra.com/Texas, there's a link on our website to a telehealth consultation to make available. So I will open this up for. Let me pause here and see if there's any questions, and then I'll run the video.
So we have one question so far. Albert is asking, I have started seizures. Is that a petite mal?
My apologies. Could you repeat that?
It says, I have started seizures. Is that a petite mal? From Albert.
I'm not sure I understand the context of the question, but I'll say that obviously epilepsy is one of the treatable conditions of the compassionate use program. And that's the program under which we operate here in the state of Texas. And any seizure disorder is also covered in the compassionate use program. There's other conditions as well that are covered, but obviously for the purpose of today's discussion and the walk that's the virtual walk, I think we'll stay focused on epilepsy and seizure disorders. Let me, so this next video is a conversation I had with Dr. Brimberry out of the Texas Cannabis Clinic, and he has a lot of patients with epilepsy and seizure disorders. And it's a really quick video, but I'll go ahead and play that next, and you can hear some of the things he says about medical cannabis.
Marcus Ruark, president of Surterra Wellness in Texas, and I'm excited to have with us today Dr. Matthew Brimberry, one of the first physicians authorized to prescribe medical cannabis across the state of Texas.
With our epileptic patients, we use a little bit more of the CBD because we're looking to inhibit.
There is value to having that small amount of THC. Those two compounds work together, provide benefits when they're taken.
It seems to have just as much traction, if not more, than some of the pharmaceuticals out there. It can be a godsend.
All right. So Ashley, during that very quick video, did any more questions come in? Sorry, Ashley, I'm having trouble hearing you. Ashley, can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, because I could not hear you.
Sorry, yes, I can hear you. My bad.
No worries.
It says, Jennifer says, I think Albert said staring, not starting. So that's my apologies. He says, I have staring seizures, not starting seizures. And she also asks, have you heard of CBD causing seizures versus helping?
So Jennifer, to your question, I have not. Again, one of the things about medical cannabis is it can be a very personalized medicine in that the dosing and the ratios and when you take it during the day and how you take it can affect each of us in different ways. But by and large, the feedback we're getting from our patients patients with epilepsy who are taking, in particular, our tranquil medication, our tranquil tinctures, and that's our 19-to-1 ratio. They're saying we were just hearing really great things about how it's just improving quality of life really for everyone. So we're hearing really good things. But again, this obviously a conversation to have with your doctor, and it can be different for everyone.
So we don't have any other questions as of right now.
Okay. Well, I addressed this a little bit at the end of my presentation, but a question we get a lot is how can I find a doctor? And it can be challenging. I think there may be approximately 300 doctors who participate in the program across the state, but I think only around 50 or so, certainly less than 100, have publicly listed their practices and clinics and their contact information on the Department of Public Safety's website. We're trying to make things easier for patients to find a doctor to create a prescription for them. And so again, we do have a link on our website. And so all of this can be done from the comfort of your home via a telehealth consultation. And we're really appreciative to the state to allow telehealth for medical cannabis. it's just so much easier. Obviously, it's a huge state, and it can be hard to find a doctor.
So not a question, but Jennifer says, awesome, thank you, in response to your response.
Let's see. Oh, well, I covered that too. How do you pay for the medicine? Yeah, so we take cash, we take a can pay. We are one of the things that Parallel does at both a state and national level is to advocate for other forms of payment in the financial system, such as credit cards. We're working to get there. We're not there yet, but please have patience with us as we try to get the concept of medical cannabis more accepted across the nation from a financial systems perspective. But right now it's cash and can pay and ACH transfers. I don't know if it's a question, but I'll point out that we do strive to make our medicine palatable and very appropriate for our younger patients. Back in the spring, we launched an updated set of tinctures with mango melon flavor. We had an orange flavor, but we changed to mango melon flavor in the spring, and that has proved really popular. So I guess I'd say parents have been appreciative of our change in flavoring there. It's a very good flavor for the tinctures, and so that's been popular. Also, we've switched to an eyedropper, which is in our tinctures, which has been easier from a dispensation or a dosing perspective, or ease of use. But if you find that you want even more precise control of your dosing, we just talk with your mobile wellness coordinator, because we can also make some micro syringes available. But we offer both, and we're always trying to innovate and keep our product as patient friendly as possible. Anything else, Ashley? I'm looking at my questions.
No questions right now, but I have a question. Speaking of making products more age appropriate, is there any age restrictions using CBD or medical cannabis in Texas?
There is not. The state has left that up to doctors and whatever they believe is in the best interest of their patients. So we see an incredibly wide age range of patients, and there's no restriction around that. Just a little bit of historical context. When the first law was passed back in 2015, it was exclusively epilepsy that was it was the only condition that could be treated with medical cannabis back then, and we're always very thankful to this community because it was because of this community that we have medical cannabis here in Texas. For those of you who were around in 2015 and lobbying the state government, everyone in the program owes a large debt of gratitude for what you've done. But even back then, it was very hard to get a prescription. You had to have intractable epilepsy, which was defined as having failed on 2 FDA-approved medications, and then you had to get a prescription from not one but 2 neurologists who specialize in treatment of epilepsy. Thankfully, in 2019, the legislature and the governor's office created a much more flexible bill and opened up patient access for more conditions and just made it easier to participate in the program. So all that's required now is you just need one prescription from a participating doctor. And again, as I pointed out, that can be done via telehealth, so that makes things very convenient.
We have a question from Albert. It says, is still a 6-month seizure free before you are eligible to drive? Just asking.
I do not know the answer to that, although I suspect there are many people listening who do. So feel free to chime in with an answer if you know that for Albert. One of the questions I'm looking at my list of questions I've been asked before, but one of the questions that we get is, what's the difference between over-the-counter CBD and medicines that are produced within Texas's compassionate use program? There's a couple of different differences. Oh, that I just repeated the word different twice. Well, that's okay. There's a couple of differences between over-the-counter CBD and what we do in our program. First and foremost, everything we do is regulated by the state of Texas and the Department of Public Safety. And there's a lot of regulations for how we create our medicines, how it's tested, the quality control, and we as a company would do this anyway because we believe in creating great medicine, highly consistent medicine from month to month, and high quality medicine. But as a patient, you also have the assurance that our regulatory agency is always checking in on us. During 2019, we were inspected by DPS probably on a weekly basis. I think approximately 50 inspections last year. We passed every single one, 100% compliance with all the regulations. Our medicines are tested with a quite rigorous set of methods for pesticides, solvents, heavy metals, microbiologicals, and potency. And we make those test reports available to any patient that wants to see one. I guess I would ask, if you're considering over-the-counter CBD, certainly ask for those test reports as well, because you want to see what's in your medicine and how it's passed in its tests. Lastly, I guess we're very price competitive to those over-the-counter CBD medications, and you're also getting, you have the opportunity to get free delivery across the state from our team of mobile wellness coordinators. So I think, maybe the biggest difference is a bit of a scientific one, but we in the compassionate use program, we are permitted to have THC in our product. We're permitted to have up to 0.5% THC. And if you saw that opening video, or if you know about the endocannabinoid system, there's a concept called the entourage effect, where different cannabinoids work together. They work synergistically to produce different effects in our bodies. And the way I like to describe it is THC can be the key that unlocks the power of CBD. So if you're just taking pure CBD, you typically have to take a lot more of it than you would have to take if you're taking one of our products that has, say, a 19-to-1 ratio or 4-to-1 ratio. Because even though we're capped at that 0.5%, you can still get a meaningful dose of THC to go along with the CBD you're taking.
So Mary is asking, where can we find a list of prescribing doctors?
We have a list like that on our website. You can also go to Texas's own website. You could search Texas DPS Compassionate Use Program, and the state has a website up that has a list of participating doctors. Again, it's a subset of the total set of participating doctors because doctors opt in to being on that list. The easiest way might be to go to our website and click on our telehealth link, and then you'll get connected with a prescribing doctor pretty easily that way.
Okay, so we don't have any other questions right now, but Janice says, thanks for sharing with us. So thank you, Janice, for joining in and watching our virtual booth today. Some practical questions. I got a question here on the best way to store our medicine. It says this on all of our labels, but it's pretty much like you would expect from any prescription medication. So it's a cool, dark, dry place. I know it's getting finally a little cooler here in Texas, but even so, I wouldn't store these in your car. Now, some of these medicines, I mean, they might be able to handle being in your car, but I wouldn't do it because obviously cars can get really hot in the summer. And take something like our lozenges. It's a very high quality product. Lozenges are not easy to make, but if you had them in the heat of your car on a hot sunny day, if it gets up above 120 degrees in your car, they are going to melt. So then you're going to end up with a jar with one giant lozenge. So just be aware that could happen. So think cool, dark, dry place. One of the other things I can do, I can talk a bit about how this whole process works. I think that maybe that could be helpful. So as a question we already had, finding a doctor can be challenging sometimes. And we try to make that as easy as possible through some of the ways I mentioned. Once you have that consultation with your doctor, he or she is going to enter your prescription into the state's registry. The state has a registry, and they use the patient's name, different identifying information. I think it's last 5 digits, social security number. They create a profile for you inside the state registry. They put your prescription in there, and that's it. You're done. There's no medical card. There's no piece of paper you're handed with a prescription on it.
Certainly, if you're doing telehealth, there's no piece of paper you're being handed. But you after you come out of that appointment, so now you've got a prescription living out there on the internet in the state's obviously secure registry. Then you contact a dispensary like us, and we will ask you some questions. What's your full, what's your name? How can we find you in the registry? So what's your name? What's the last 5 of your social? We'll pull up your information, and we'll see the prescription that your doctor has made for you, and then we'll talk to you about that. We'll talk to you about the prescription, the products that are available to you. Sometimes doctors will be really extremely specific about exactly what product they want you to buy, and sometimes they'll be a little more flexible. We'll say, here's a range of things, and you can try. We Surterra, Texas, we encourage patients to, if they can, seek that flexibility. But again, some doctors will, some doctors won't. But we'll walk you through which of our products match up with your prescription. We'll discuss any discounts that you have available to you, delivery times and delivery dates, and how you want to pay. And then we'll schedule a delivery window with you. And our delivery turnarounds are pretty fast. I think if you've been a patient of ours, you can speak to that. We get you your medicine within days, if not next day. We're doing multiple deliveries across the state every day of the week, and sometimes on Saturday. We'll please don't take too much advantage of us, but we'll make emergency deliveries on Saturday, and we've done that in the past. And my mobile wellness center coordinator team has probably got their head in their hands now. But again, we're patient first. We want the #1 patient experience across the state. You'll get that delivery window. We will let you know when we're on our way, reconfirm the delivery window, and then we'll do the contactless delivery if that's how you would like, or we'll do a regular delivery. Our team is always wearing masks and all the COVID compliance things that you might expect from a company like ours. We'll bring your medicine, and that's how the transaction goes. And your prescription will have a certain amount allotted to it, and then when it's time for refill, you'll reach out to your doctor again, and you'll talk about how the medicine was working for you, and then you'll get a refill. And if you're a Surterra, Texas customer, at that second time, you're getting that 20% discount, which is nice.
So I heard you mention that you're making deliveries all over the state. So where do you think is probably the farthest that you guys have made a delivery to a patient?
We've had, Texas is huge. That's for sure. The story I like to tell is I lived in north of Dallas for a while, and then I moved to Austin. And this was, I don't know, a decade ago, maybe longer. But in Austin, I heard Austin was Central Texas, right? Central Texas. So I thought, okay, now's the time I can finally go visit El Paso. And I plugged it into GPS, and it was 9 hours. I was like, that's incredible. Like, I'm in Central Texas, and yet it's still 9 hours to get somewhere. I believe we've had patients up in Amarillo, so upper north part of Texas. I think that's probably, but again, there's some long drives here for the team. But Ashley, as you know, we're happy to do it because this is a very special program. The state has sort of given to us Texans, and the results, the feedback, the testimonials we get from our patients, it makes it worthwhile every single day. It's really fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we have a similar experience hearing testimonials here at the foundation. It's really kind of makes all of the hard work worth it. So we don't have any questions currently.
I think we're about at the end of our time, I guess. So I guess I would just say, just to wrap things up, again, thank you everyone who is supporting the Epilepsy Foundation and all the work that Ashley's doing, and her team, the rest of her team, and the virtual walk that's happening this week. I hope that all goes really, really well, and we're just really happy to be a part of it. And come on over to our Facebook page, like us, and stay in touch with us, and that'll be a great way to get updates and stay in the loop. And thank you so much.
Yes, and if anybody still has any questions for Marcus, feel free to comment and we'll direct them over to him, or you can head over to their Facebook page, which is at Surterra, Texas, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, if you have any questions, you can still leave a comment, and make sure you tune in on Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time for the live stream for the San Antonio Walk. And thank you again for supporting all of our walks. It's really been, just a blessing to have all this like tremendous support during, you know, the virtual walks and having to adapt during COVID. So thank you for that.
You guys you've done a great job adapting. So congratulations. And again, thank you, everyone.
Okay, so have a great day. Thank you so much, Marcus.
You're welcome.